Mm-hmm. Um, I see in the armor, like the metallic armor, 16th, 17th century. And then I see you being doctor in like, oh, it's like 15th century. And I see friends and I see people, like the whole town dead. Then I see the other life in Montreal. I clearly see the name of the city. But there's this big fuzzy, it's like a Bigfoot guy behind you. And you're like sitting on his stomach, like in a chair, like he's holding you. It's like you got if you as if you had a big stuffy animal and you would be sitting on his tummy. That's how it looks, because he blends in with your energy sphere, and your energy sphere is like brown color, like it's dirty from his, and it looks the same, like it's a mimicry of his fur, because his fur is he's a brown Bigfoot creature. But there's something about you were I see you like a moving crystal on some planet. Um a Zundk planet. You're saying it in a very interesting way, because you're just it's a language. It's a physical planet. Azunkt. It's left to Orion. That's how I see Orion belt. So the Orion belt is here. There's stars in a straight line, and there's here on my side. And you're just you've been a keeper of the moving, growing like plants. I say they look like diamonds, they're crystals, but they look like sticks, but the sticks that move as if they were in the water, but they're not in the water. They're in the atmosphere. They are on the surface of the planet, and I see you as this tall, physical body, but it's like you got the skin that a little bit. It's like a peach color, and you got this big, kind of like dark brown eyes, dark brown hair, and you were. It feels like a male, like male energy, like pretty strong, and you talk to the crystals, and the crystals create holograms. They create holographic projections of universes, of planets, of stars, because you're saying, so basically the energetic planets and energetic stars are holographic projections, and you were taken here to create. See, your energy, your DNA has the information how to create holograms, and that's why this squash. But I don't know. It's easy for me to say big food. Let's say, right? Big food creatures, and there's a whole civilization of them. Some of them have like orangey kind of brownish, um, like curly hairs, but yours is like wavy and brown. And they didn't just take you. They take you because you agreed to collaborate with them and share your experience. In return, they were gonna share their experiences of different civilizations that they used to know on planet Earth, because like all this cyclical uh, you were interested as how civilizations reached a certain um, height in technology and understanding of how holograms are created, how to get in, how not to get locked in, and unlock yourself out. And because every time the people would figure out how to unlock themselves out of the holograms, they would suffer some restart of civilization. That's what you're saying. And that's why you did a contract for 5 lives on Earth, because they said that it's the best for you to study the Earth's holographic design. It's almost like, experience exchange type program that they presented it as. And you came here, but you're stuck here. You say for 3,000 lives. You're saying that you're just so tired of this nonsense. Your soul is saying your conscious mind is it's floating, it's back and forth here and there. And what Bigfoot is doing, he usually covers you like this and holds you tight. And that's why he he created like disability type problems in all your timelines, because I see them like sun rays coming from your soul as like literally 3,000 lives. This is number 3,000. And he would always make sure that you are more like stable and in control. Therefore, he would create circumstances like when I see you are a doctor in France, you got the disease and you got this red spots and you died yourself after a while. Like, but you would always catch something from the patient, and you would not be as active. You would, because the he takes you to different locations on different Milky Ways, galaxies, platforms, and then he hooks you up to some sort of technology, because I see like a big, it's like a trip chair, but it has like a capsule over it, and so it scans you. So first on the screen in front, it presents you a task, like we need to build this hologram, and your consciousness immediately knows the answer how to do it, and they scan the formula how to do it from you. There's a certain formula, there's certain steps of creation. But the thing is, they also take a big portion of your energy with the information, because that's how it works. You have to apply real soul's energy with the knowledge of how to build it. And together you can create it, because it's like planting a seed. You can plant a seed without the sun and water. It's the same idea, and the energy of the seed itself. And you're like the seed for them that provides energy and knowledge. And then this is squash. So he's just an agent. He's just somebody who does the job. But let's call who's in charge of him. Charge of him. I see dragons. I mean, they're like, okay, they look like reptilians. They look like, oh, what's that movie is it Japanese, right? Godzilla? Yeah, they look like those Godzillas, like big green. I mean, you can call them dinosaurs, I don't know, but they have little wings, but they're rudimentary. They don't fly with them. They're just hanging there and they are small if you look on the back. And but in front they look kind of and I feel like they're pretty smart too. It's like an old civilization of original reptilian species or something. They're not dumb at all. They actually know how to create worlds. Oh, what they do, they ran out of food supply. And because of that, they started creating holographic worlds that lock souls in, um, and they will literally like make the souls in the bodies of this hologram that is locked in like a clam, produce more bodies, like bring children, and so they can like eat them or they can nurture themselves both with energy and also with physical flesh, because that's how they are created. They actually need actual meat to eat. So in they using a bunch of souls like yours to do that, but you also lived. Uh, there was some time when they would just do some rituals. I see like rituals that they would make people eat like inner organs. If so, I'm not gonna go into this life, but I feel like it affects you also because you felt like forced to do it because it wasn't in between. It's either you do it, because I see like a lot of people running. There's like ancient village, and I see that people are catching some other people with like they thought that abilities of the gods, and they would perform some a ritual, like they performed a ritual on you, and they made you eat a human heart in that ritual, and that's how they like grounded you down. And then they made you carry like this cross from village to village, like a Christian cross, like from a church, from village to village, like a crusade type, and people were walking behind you simply because they wanted to indoctrinate you with the church egregiory. And then in other lives, I see like when you were the doctor, you asked angels to help you heal people and to help you not to get sick. And you've been fine for a while, but at the end, these angels made you lose your body, getting sick, lose your body. And these angels were basically those Godzillas who turned into angels by using your energy, and they presented themselves as the angels made out of light, but there were Godzillas who brought you into this level. It's a city. It's like a town with 2, 3 story buildings, and that's your family, and you're happy to be home. And I see you have this house. Some of the buildings are taller. There's the same things like um, I see like a store you go in and the bell rings and you say, "Hi, Susie, when did you get here?" And she says, "Oh, I just finished my life. I'm happy to be home." And you're in between lives. That's what you do. And you have this house. It's like light blue color. It's made out of clay. On top, there's like a straw. It's kind of like a I don't know why I want to say Brazilian kind of type of South American, I don't know, type of or island type of house. But you have your cooking like you enjoy cooking, but you say that the food is not real. It just reminds you of how it tastes in physical life, because everything here is really non-physical, even though if you still perceive it in between lives as physical, it's just an energetic construct that you are you help them create, basically, and souls like yours help them create. But you have this crazy life. It's like a second, I think it's third, when you're grown as a little, like you were a baby crawling in a little village. It looks like South Africa, and there's a big crow that comes and picks you up by your, I think it's like a short t-shirt, and but it's like wrapped and tied, and he takes you and puts you in the giant crow's nest, and you grow with the birds and you learn that language. But it's almost like in the next life you actually don't like birds. You try to avoid them. They irritate you. You're scared of them and you don't understand why you are. And some of the fears you have just come from a lot of lives, because they've done like a lot of fears, like fear of water, fear of going on a boat, because there was a life where you just like, I see the boat flipping, but it looks like it's Ireland. It's Ireland. It's in the sea, and you're helping your little boy, helping your dad catching fish, and the boat. There's something. The lightning strikes the boat, and it goes on fire, and it flames. And I think your father actually saved himself, because I see him floating, but you died, and that caused you a lot of fear of water later in the other lives. But then you had a life when you lost your family as a woman, and you have a fear of losing your relatives and your children, and remain like by herself. That from that comes the feeling of loneliness inside, deep down, because that life is just still, affecting you. So, and I keep looking at this construction. It's like a thing. I see like outside rods, and they go like from the shoulder down. There's 3 here, there's 3 over here. And they're not only on one side, they're on one side and the other too. But so it's like if you take like a metallic rod and you push it from right to left, like a shish kebab type thing. It's just weird. You create this like horizontal and vertical rod construction, and basically the Bigfoot puts you in this construction to keep you stable, because he wants you to be seated most of the time and not moving like anywhere, because you should be always available for him to take you to a new destination, to put you yet in another trip seat, another capsule, to read information off of you. So you're just like an asset that they own. And that's why they want to keep you alive for a long time, for this reason. According to, because I do see the book. It looks like an old book. It's like brown on the sides because it's old, and it's like almost like black leather on top. And it has 60 pages in it, and it covers all the 3,000 lives. But You say like, you're joking, you're saying it's really just a variation of pretty much uh, more like a little more than 10 lives maybe, because the scenarios is slightly altered, but it's taken from the say AI that read of your DNA and knows how to target you the most in all those lives. Therefore, it was easier to develop 12 lives, a dozen, and then alter them, looking at your reaction and looking at the traumas you received in one life. They would recreate that trauma and make it even bigger in the next life after this one. But you say the only time you liked when you went to that village in between, like you call it town actually, but it kind of looks like a village. It even has a church and stuff in between lives. And you say that this life in between lives feels more real like the other lives. Because when you are there, you actually understand and remember who you are. You feel secure. You feel that you can alter anything you want. You can change anything you want, even the way you look. But once you're stuck in the physical body, you can no longer do it. But you say that you fear the ring bell. You fear the sound of a ring bell because when the watcher, you call him the watcher. I couldn't understand what you were saying, like from the word watch, like somebody who watches you, and you say that they put together the lists of people in the whole, like you're saying that this town is it's like a family, okay? It's just a family of souls. And then you get into a circle one day when that one in charge, and looks like a very tall um angel, but he's wearing a black cloak. And I'm asking you, do you really think that an angel, a real one, would wear a black cloak? And you look at me like I'm strange. Um, but I'm telling you, look into his eyes and touch him and see who he really is. And you do, and you say, it's funny you say that. You say, like, he has turtle eyes. Why does he? They turn into turtle looking. And then when you touched his like arm like this, you started seeing how his hand is turned, like it's growing big claws. He has only 4 fingers. And I say, because he's not who he pretends to be. Because I see he has a table and there's a big it's almost like a school thing. It's a big sheet of paper, and there's all this 55 souls written on it with the names that you had in the previous life. And he calls on every name and asks if you would like to volunteer to go to the next life. And then when those souls who volunteered, and sometimes they don't want to, and they don't and he doesn't have enough people, so enough souls, but they look like people. Um, that then he would say, like, okay, this soul's been resting for too long. I want this particular soul to go into this next life. Let's put together a fun life. And then he like writes it down on paper, with like a pen that we use regular. And but that's a trick. I mean, I'm smiling because the life plan is not gonna go that way. because he secretly in science, I feel like then he goes into a computer room that you don't see because it's behind the walls of the construct of that town. And I see the door, like a secret door he opens in space, and he walks behind, and I see black mirrors all around the construct you are inside, and it's like he can see through mirrors what you're doing. And he says, okay, I better give them like avatars with bad personalities so they fight with each other in the family. And that's what he does. He does that, and then he rewrites the story when you don't know about it, because you agreed to one story with a very easy life, so you go voluntarily and you know it's going to be fine. But then he writes like suffering and hurt and the situations, and then you go through some sort of, it's like a gate and a tunnel. It's almost looks like at the airport when you go through this tunnel connected to the entrance of the plane. Like I see you walk through, and I see how they it's almost like a lightning goes through your head, but in you don't really feel pain or anything. You just startle for a second. And I see that they raise your memory that way because there's just like sides of the membrane with the impulses going through, like electricity zooming through, and the electricity forms some sort of net that you, as you go through this net, it erases your memories of the contract, of how your life was gonna be, of the previous lives. And then and then there's an end of the tunnel, and you just fly down real fast, and I see right away all of you in different timelines and different times. Let's say one is gonna be born in year 1950, the other one is in the year 69, when the mom grown into a woman, and like that. But they're thrown at the same time down. You took out the rods. There's 17 of them. You put them down. You're saying, wow, there's so many of them. I can make rails for the train out of them. You laugh. You're saying that you're putting up a furnace. You're gonna melt them. And I told you to call on everybody who's been in your energy sphere, who's hiding, who is attached to the project that they're using you in. And so this Bigfoot came, this big Godzillas came, there's two of them. One of them is a boss. There's some other oh my, they look like gorillas, but they have this cone heads. Are they from that movie? I don't remember the name of the movie. Ah, the Planet of the Apes. Like Michael Crichton, like that movie. They kind of look like that. And they're very smart. They're the ones who organize the projects. They're like on top of the green boss of that. That's Godzilla. I mean, boss, like I got that dino looking creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them. And you put them in the cage, and you said like, okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to you. But I said like, oh, well, stop. You have to bring that contract, remember, from the town where they put the contract together in between lives. So, and I see that Godzilla, like one of them who was showing up there, he brings the contract. So there's like a book and there's a contract. There's two separate things. Because I see like a separate sheet of paper. It's kind of like ancient papyrus type, but it's like thick paper. And there's a book, which is like black cover leather with the sides like little older brownish. And you just put everything in the furnace with the implants, with the sticks, um, all of them. There's a stick was going at like here level and their level, like up here. So there's probably gonna they were causing all kinds of like bone, like maybe teeth, pain, I don't know, things like that, because they basically implants drain energy and they work on your energy. And the same thing was maybe you had like headaches and migraines or whatever because there's like a stick going straight through your temple area. On both sides that you took out, there's 17 of them, so you put them all on the furnace. And together with the contract and with the book, I see them burning up to ashes. And then you're gonna put the ashes into the portal. I'll show you how to draw a portal. And then I'm telling you to check if they inserted any strands of DNA that don't belong to you, which they did. It's like 13% of DNA from that Bigfoot, because he want to create an energetic attachment in between you and him and create a field of that energetic attachment. And therefore they try to, over this period of 3,000 lives, alter your DNA, which they did until 13%. So, and you're just shedding this it looks like you're scraping your it's like an energy, okay, like a hologram or energy DNA, and you're scraping that. It's like somebody paints a door with multiple colors, one on top of the other. That's what I see. But that's what you're doing. You're cleansing your DNA, so to take off the mutation. And then I already see you there. For some reason, I see you on one of the Orion belt planets, and you're saying that to the Bigfoot that you disagree, you never signed, you annul, you cancel your work agreement, your exchange program. You don't want to go through this exchange program of sharing your knowledge because you got nothing in return. Yeah, they fooled you and you refuse to do it again. So, and from that, no contract signed, you change that event on the timeline as if you never signed a contract, as if you never came to Earth to participate in that project, which falls off of you also. But then there's like multiple strings that you literally like created silver scissors and you're cutting them off, and they are connected to your energy, mental and emotional bodies. And one of them is religion, egregore, control system. Another one is educational. There's a lot of lives that you wear like the teaching or healing, and those are also egregore machines because they are, the way it's done is wrong, and so you're cutting them all off. Uh, and then you're altering your belief system. And in their theory, because you're saying that to even up the conscious and subconscious, you need to make sure you even out your beliefs, your understanding of things, to be able to raise your consciousness and even out the conscious and subconscious. And you're checking your mental emotional bodies for anything else, because there's like rhombical type creatures, but they're spinning real fast in them, and it's like spinning of emotions and situations connected to them since your childhood. So what you're doing, you're saying, I'm just gonna take a vacuum cleaner and suck them all out from my mental emotional body, so I no longer have them with me, because they make my body heavy. And because of that, it's hard for me to talk, to do things, to walk. I mean, and so that basically this metallic cage you were in, the construct, it's like a skeleton, but it's not really it's not an exoskeleton, something else. Can't figure out how to call it, but like a giant implant that was going through your bones. It made your bones weak, and that's why right now the everything you've done in the etheric, how you cleanse yourself, is gonna go down to the physical and make you feel stronger. And then your soul is saying she has to alter the way she eats, she has to alter the way she thinks of the reality itself, of who she is in the reality, and how she can change, and then she can create something different on daily basis, because the change in her daily routine will alter the programs she's running, because her patterns, and your subconscious shows me like they are like rocks. They're hard, and she's been doing it throughout her life. A lot of thinking processes need to be altered, because you develop such strong petrified like patterns throughout the life that kind of program your reality ahead of time for many years, and you have to change them in order to receive something different. Plus, knowing that you pushed the cage with all the five entities who interfered with you before out of your energy sphere and closed the door. And now I see you're planting like flowers around you, and you're saying that you're gonna fill up the space with beautiful flowers instead of those who bother you, who also created thought patterns for you, created uh, dissatisfaction with life, with the world, the desire to fight with it, uh, to the thought that nobody understands you. Those are like fake creations created by the implants, and in combination with the five different aliens who are basically dictating you what to think, how to think, and but from now on, you and only you can affect everything, because since you saw that in between lives it's all fake, and all the perception that we are weak, and angels or God or whoever it is stronger than us, This is like a fake construct to make you believe that you're little, that you're helpless, that you're like a little child. But slowly you have to realize that whatever we think inside, because of the programs uploaded into us throughout our upbringing system and educational system, those are the ones that your belief in those programs create your life, reflect your life. Your life reflects what you believe inside. What you believe, you create. If you believe you're going to live long, you'll live long. If you believe you're going to have problems with health, you will have problems with health. That's how it works, and no other way. That's why we see people who might be smoking all life, but they are alive and they don't develop any lung problems. But then there's people who smoke and they develop because deep down they know they're doing the wrong thing and they're struggling trying to quit. But it doesn't mean that you need to do it, but that just proves you the point that what you believe in, you create. And the different egregore and the rituals of like even even saying goodbye, the last goodbyes to a person who passed. This is just a ritual, and because it feeds the very program we are in, the very what we call life is really just a pre-programmed. Some people call it destiny, or but it's a pre-programmed system which has number of events embedded into a line that you're walking on from the birth to the death. But the thing is, you can alter those things. When you realize and consciously aware that you can, you actually can. So, and that's what you have to work on. You have to work on believing that you are one of the creators, and you, when you don't have a physical body, you can create anything you want, from an apple in your hand and up to a galaxy, a universe, any system, any creature, animal, humanoid form. It doesn't matter. You can create anything you want. It just they don't want you to know, because they want to take your power away by lying to you that you're little, that you need help, that you are helpless, that you cannot change anything, that that's your destiny, that you need to carry your cross. But they made you carry your cross because you used to be a rebellion before. But then they try to break you in other lives to get you to the point where you felt weak, and felt like it's easier to be like any other person in this structure build up of holograms upon holograms. It's like one hologram inside the other. It's like a matryoshka doll, one inside the other, inside the other. And that's why when you lose your body, you still need to figure out that the world in between lives is also fake. And you have to get out of all the layers of the construct to be truly free. And that's what your soul is saying to you. Because you did like you did this, and you created like a ball of energy, and it went throughout all your lives up to this 3,000 lives, and you cleanse them. You basically program the ball with your mind, with your soul did, to eliminate all the fear programs, all the all detach yourself from all the beliefs that came from egregore. Egregore is basically it's like a group. It's like a machine that sucks, that creates fake knowledge fake system of knowledge, that, and then it brings the people in and they start believing that fake system of knowledge into everything it says it believes in. They start believing the same way, and that's how they create this indoctrinated type of group of souls who like can only see one point in the multi, and there's always multiple points of view, but they only believe in one point of view, and they want to eliminate everybody on their way who don't think the same, and therefore the physical self starts fighting with the soul self, which creates a fight and creates diseases, conditions. um, and that's what your soul says, that it actually causes you to forget some of the things you don't she doesn't want you to do or remember. Like, your soul doesn't want you to pray because by praying you become a prey yourself, and you become a victim and a prey of this world because you're begging for helping. And why would you beg for helping if once you realize that you create your own life in your own belief system, which creates your line you walk on as a lifeline with all the events that you build up for yourself, and each and every one builds his own destiny, his own life. Why would you rely on somebody else to create events in your life? If they don't know you, they don't know what you want. They would always screw it up for you. That's why we always say, your soul says, that you know yourself better than anybody else. You know what you want better than anybody else. Nobody should dictate you what to do. Each and every soul should be only preoccupied about his or her own physical life. Nothing else should matter, or nothing else should bother you. This is just a different perspectives, different opinions, different lives, and based on different belief systems. And belief systems almost never coincide 100%. So the point is, we're all different, but we're all creators, and we create our own life, and we should do it without any participation of anybody else, because if we let anybody else to participate, they will always screw it up for us and make us suffer, like those aliens who were in your energy sphere were dictating your life, and the events, including the tragic events that were setting up for you to make you suffer and produce the energy of pain and suffering, mental and emotional and physical, because they need your energy, they need to feed themselves. That's what they do. They're like parasitic in their nature, and they use the fact we don't see them with the physical eyes. So just stay clean, don't agree to anything, refuse anybody's help, and trust yourself that you are doing it now, that you're creating what you want now. You don't have to, and work on not doubting yourself. Work on not asking for help. You can do it all by yourself, like every other biological soul does. I mean biological because there's a seed of, there's like real energy of creation in it, but then it's put into a body which is a holographic image of the soul's creation, which becomes low vibrational and therefore hard physical, hard physical, like cosmonaut suit that you wear throughout the life. And then you decide to shed it. When you're done with life, you take it off and you're free to go. But this time, don't go in between lives, go straight back to where you came from, which is just this neutral space where you have this feeling as if you were laying in the hammock in the very nice warming sun and hearing the waves of the sea going one after another, and the calmness is always in you, and there's nothing to worry about. You're just enjoying it. The feeling of flotation in space, and satisfaction with everything you've done in other lives. You have to reach this feeling here, being in the physical body, through calming down and meditation, which can be just staring outside with your eyes open. You don't have to close your eyes for meditating. You can just focus on one object and kind of stare at it, and that's your meditation. That's when the thoughts stop and the whispering of the soul begins. That's how you acquire knowledge. It's all for now. Work on yourself. Stay calm. Don't worry about how it's going to end, because you are the one who will program how it's going to end, what is going to happen. And you're the one who just now eliminated your own pains by taking the implants out of your energy bodies. Your body, it's like that bug that that been squashed and already dead but still keeps running. It's basically would reproduce pain for a little bit, and then I will stop, because you understand what it does. The body just goes in patterns. When the spiral of a pattern is over, it stops. The memory is gone of a pain that this or that part of the body had the pain, so the pain is gone. But in the meanwhile, you have to focus on something else, on opening the windows and enjoying fresh air, looking outside, enjoying the sky, things like that. They make you feel fresh and inspired. It's all for now. It's so sad. So, but yeah, you have your energy now changed from that brown to purple. You open my eyes for a little bit. So the energy changed to purple because you're connected to your soul, and the purple is like, so basically our bodies, why they call it chakras, but they're not really chakras. It's just like the our energy in the body is one big energy, and it's floating, and it changes from different colors depending on your state of mind, state of emotional health. So because there was an entity holding you, you felt constricted physically and mentally, and he would push like thoughts onto you, usually thoughts of being worried, thoughts of being not knowing what's coming, like that. And now you're just gonna learn to trust your soul more, that your soul knows what is best for you to experience, and it doesn't have to be extreme experiences of anything. It can be just like very calm, pleasant day-to-day life. So that's what I felt, and that's what I saw, that it turned into this this bright purple energy now. So
Interesting.
yeah. So I can, if you want, I don't know if you felt anything when your soul was taking the rods out, the in the body? Do you feel any energy, any warmth, or anything like this?
I felt a lot of tingling up through my legs.
Mm. Yeah, because there was like a construction, like a rectangular construction made out of rods, vertical and horizontal. So, but that's the energy flow because the energy flow was restricted by the construction because it does take your energy to work on you to restrict you.
I think I have a lot of anxiety.
Because somebody takes you all the time and you never know when that somebody, which is a Bigfoot that is gone now, was gonna take you. And you didn't like that he was taking you to new places each time. But that's your soul. And your soul was kind of like, in a way, scared where when is he gonna take me again? And that's where anxiety comes from of not, and also the feeling of not knowing what is on your way because you felt like you're not in control. But now you know you are in control because there's nobody else who is dictating you what to do like they used to before. And the whole point of session is to understand that each and every one of us is creator gods, and all of us put together, you can call it one big god. But that's just a representation. What they put in our heads is there's a god separate from us. No, it's you yourself. You just have to connect to your soul, and that's when you become a god yourself, connected to your soul. When you act from a soul, when the soul acts through your physical body in the physical world. But I mean, some people are just like, the belief system is so deep because, they grew up Catholic and they grew up believing in one thing. It's very hard to switch
Yeah.
and understand it. But I mean, it takes time, but you saw what happens in between lives. It's important whenever you see some angel or whoever you see, some people see them in meditation, to look in their eyes and touch them, because when you touch them and when you say, by touching you, I read off of you your DNA structure and I recreate your true body, your true self. And then all of a sudden, from an angel, you see crocodile or like a looking being, or just like in your case, it was that Godzilla big one. So the people don't understand. They do change their bodies because they're energetic. We are the same way. When we're energetic, we why people say that in that other world, like even in the experiences, I see myself as a 25-year-old. Yeah, because what do we want? We want to stay young all the time, right? And then in our head, we kind of feel at the same age all the time. Even when we age, we still feel, most people say, I feel like I'm 25, and I can't believe that I aged, or I can't believe the way how I look now. But that's the thing, because you believe that you are young and you feel it's like an imprint. What you believe in, you create. You automatically, getting out of physical body, create the young self in there, because it's pleasant to look at yourself at that. We choose always the best for ourselves as creators, but that just the physical body and the physical world restricts us from creating. But then it's because of the deep-seated programs saying that, well, at this age you're gonna have these problems, at that age you get these problems, and because they keep telling us all the time about this, we start believing in it. Well, everybody has osteoporosis, right, at this age. Well, that's why I'm gonna have it probably. You know what I mean? If we just didn't hear this all the time on repeat, we would not believe and not create it. but that's how it works. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn off the recording.